Welcome to the Oz Champs podcast by the local game. I'm your host Johnny Kecko, and a big shout out to Macaron Sports Hub Adelaide. Kitted out once again this massive, great varsity jacket. Get one for yourself or your team, and alongside Antonis Pagonis and Simon Jimenez. Boys, good to have you back on board. Australian Championship just surprises every week. It's been entertaining stuff, hasn't it? You can talk. Come on.
We're so excited, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. It's ticking along nicely. Of course, we're seeing some of the teams meet for the all the teams now meet for the second time in the group stage, and that means finals are just around the corner. So I'm pumped for that.
You're loving it, Antonis, just as much as you did earlier?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Well, we are past the halfway point of our group, so that's starting to take shape. Some interesting narratives we're talking off air about teams that seemed out of it mentally or on the points are suddenly looking a lot more likely now. So heaps going on and a lot more to go until the final whistle goes on the group stage and we'll see who's making it through.
Absolutely. Some big games coming up this weekend as well, with 2 rounds still to go before finals. We're going to go through each group, I reckon, individually. There's 4 groups there. It's starting to take shape. There's already one team that's been confirmed in the finals and another who have already, unfortunately, been confirmed to be out because it's too far for them to get 7 points to finish in second place with 2 games still to go. But let's go to Group A first of all. And one thing to highlight, there's a Greek club and it's also a Melbourneian club as well. Victorian club on top of the ladder in Group A. South Melbourne. So let's talk about them. South Melbourne on 12 points. Moreton City on 6 on C. And Sydney Olympic on 3 and Broadmeadow Magic on 3 as well. So all teams still able to get into the finals, but South Melbourne though just really the outlier this season so far. 4 wins from 4.
They were one of the teams that they'll want to watch ahead of this competition, and they haven't all impressed these foundation clubs. But I think South Melbourne, they get a big tick. They've done fantastically well, secured their spot in the finals. And I'm all for it. Look forward to more big games at Lakeside.
Yeah.
And they went hard after the season finished to recruit. They recruited some of the best players in the local competition, including a face very familiar to us, Tom Giannakopoulos. It's a club that has high expectations of themselves. The season didn't work out for them, so they went really hard. And, yeah, the results are here. 12 points from 12. All the ticks. I'm just a bit surprised this week, Johnny, because you didn't play any Greek music to honour them being top and undefeated.
Should have. Talking about the Tommy G, though, I did bump into his dad and brother at Villiers one night. I think it was midnight one night.
Very South Australian behaviour.
It was 1 a.m. actually. It was after they went to one concert and I just came from Wolfmother's last minute gig in a pub. So we had the same idea here in LA. You go to Villiers after a gig, don't you? That's exactly what you do. So I asked him about Tommy G, but it was good seeing him out there. And let's move into Group B as well. Heidelberg sitting top with 10 points. Another Victorian club. Marconi on 7 and Wollongong Wolves on 6. And South Hobart, who are unable to make the finals now, on 0 points. Still unable to get a point out of the 4 games.
Well, no surprises there either. We know how strong Heidelberg have been. They're up top. We've got 3 Victorian teams on top of their respective groups at the moment. In Group C, which we'll talk about in a moment, 2 Victorian teams on top. So a little bit more what we're expecting. South Hobart is probably a bit of an interesting story out of that. We knew it was going to be a struggle for them. They're unfortunately out. They won't participate. Well, we've still got 2 more games to play, but they won't be participating beyond the group stage. And, I guess no further surprises there.
Yeah, I think this is how if you look at the ladder now, probably how we expected the group to finish. Heidelberg may not be a foundation club, but you can argue that the strongest NPL club out at the moment, making the Australia Cup final, beating a team from the A-League in every round, in that even giving Newcastle a run for the money in the final. And
no Greek music, but it's a classic tune.
No, that's not good enough, Johnny. You need to raise your game. But yeah, they've shown that they're the best team potentially at the A-League, so no surprises there. And a few faces there, including their coach, John Anastasiadis, who have claims to work in the A-League once this season finishes. And it finishes at a very interesting point in December when A-League clubs start looking at the January transfer window. So I won't be surprised if a few faces from Heidelberg feature in talks closer to that point.
Just further down the ladder, number 2 and 3. That race still looks really interesting. Marconi on 7 points, Wollongong Wolves on 6. Wollongong have a bit of a challenge ahead of them this weekend because they're the ones that are facing Heidelberg away. But still, they're up for it, just a point behind Marconi. They could still do something, and that'd be a big upset if they managed to bump Marconi, a foundation club, off that second spot.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect you'd expect Marconi to make the finals there, but Wollongong are a very good team.
And also,
as well.
Wollongong are a foundation club as well. You know, from maybe a bit of a lower profile one, but again, they wanted to be in this competition. They've pushed for it, so good to have them in there too. But the fact that it's this competitive, it's good signs. Obviously, South Hobart a bit below everyone else, but again, with a couple of rounds to go, it's still all open.
I had a bit of a look at South Hobart actually as well, because we were talking about them last week, and I've sort of made the suggestion that maybe there'd be other clubs more deserving of the opportunity.
Yep.
I guess the narrative I was sort of told in the lead up was that South Hobart were far and away the best team in the competition. But I had a bit of a look at the NPL Tasmania stats, and there's one other team in particular that is pretty much up there with South Hobart as well. So, you know, who knows? Next year we might have a different team from Tasmania in the competition. Maybe we can expect something a bit different from them. We'll see.
And to be just the point from me, I think with something like the Tasmanian competition and kind of like the ACT, I think Canberra's done a bit of that. They might be better off that whoever makes it starts almost assembling like a local super team because it's so small, getting a very good player from here, a very good player from there, even if it's not like to permanently sign for them, even if it's just for the competition, to kind of put your best foot forward, it might be something to think about moving forward to show your best selves. And that might take a bit of collaboration, which football in Australia, we're not very good at it, but who knows? It's an outside the box idea that if you know that you've got a disadvantage, be it you're a smaller place, you don't have the pedigree or the numbers, you can kind of, I don't want to say manipulate, but almost take advantage of your setting to create the strongest possible brand, kind of like an All-Stars.
Well, the foundation clubs have done that too.
Exactly.
They've
Yeah.
recruited
Yes.
Yeah.
Could there be, you get the recruiting for the bigger clubs, but those clubs, like you said, could you bring a wild card, almost like when you're in your salary cap for the A-League, you got your other players that are outside the salary cap. Could you do that with your marquee players? Could you do that with these clubs and say you got 2 wild cards, you can sign anyone from any club in the league, the best players?
They have to agree to it. Number one, that's the issue. And I think the other thing
but the federation helps fund it.
Once you get the federation in there, you open Pandora's box, because then you start the narrative that, the federation is helping this club. And then if they stay with that club, not just for the champions of the following season, you can argue you're creating a super team.
Are you saying that people are going to accuse the Federation of favouritism? What an outrageous claim
to
be made.
The most popular things going around. So it just gets very murky. So you got to let clubs, I think, go at it alone. But again, especially for the smaller competitions like Tasmania, ACT, it might be something worth looking at. But again, it's difficult because do you sign them for a couple of months and let them go? But then do you want to keep them long term? How does everyone else feel about that? Again, very lucky.
Regardless, though, it presents choice.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Absolutely. Let's move in Group C now before we start any issues. Sitting on top is Avondale, 8 points. Preston Lions on 5. NWS Spirit on 5 as well. But Canberra Croatia on 3. Still doable for them. 6 points can still get them into the, could get them top 2 spot. But this weekend they're playing Preston, which is going to be massive for them. And Preston playing Avondale in the final round as well. So that's next 2 rounds going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, well, it's still a super tight group. We've seen upsets before. Who knows, it might happen. I guess last week we were talking about the fact that Preston was still bottom of the table. Now they're sitting in second, looking sort of a little bit more where I'd say we expect them to be where they belong. Avondale 1, Preston Lions number 2. I think that's a pretty exciting prospect.
But also you mentioned, Johnny, how tight the rankings are and how 3 points can change everything. Now let me give you a scenario. Avondale and Preston play in the last round, and then the other teams, Canberra and NWS, play in the last round. Can you imagine Preston Avondale drawing and then Canberra getting an upset against NWS, and suddenly Canberra from 4th have gone into the top 2? that's what you love about this format, that on one given match day, it can turn on its head completely. And how amazing would that be on the last day when we're looking at results here and there? As long as it's within one game, so much can happen. And this group is delivering because anyone can be anywhere on any given match day. And that's what you want.
Yeah, it will be very, very interesting this weekend to see how that plays out. And Avondale Preston, I'm heading there. So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I want a Preston win and an Avondale draw or loss this weekend. So it comes down to that final game because anything can happen.
I was about to out you for doing the maths, but before we started, just thinking, oh, how can we get a name where we really got stakes and one team's under pressure so I get the best possible game? So, yeah. I can't blame you for being selfish in that instance.
Me too. Need to be. I want a great, entertaining game, but
well, there's only one game in Victoria, so you might as well make it worth your while, Johnny.
Exactly. There's only one game in South Australia as well this weekend, and that's the Group Stage B or Group B, sorry. And then let's have a look at that group as well. The outlier, which I think none of us really predicted early on, but Bayswater on 10 points on top, West Upia on 7. MetroStars on 4, and Sydney United just on 1 point at the moment. So
the other outlier.
Yes, so they could still technically finish in second place, but it all comes down to this weekend. If they don't win, they're out.
Well, maybe I'll talk about the first outlier to start with in Bayswater. I mean, they've just been super consistent, getting results. It doesn't have to be by a lot. It doesn't have to be pretty. And some of their games definitely haven't been pretty. They're a very tough team, but they've done really well. I do know that they have 2 games now on the road, though. So they've got Northeastern MetroStars away, which, of course, is this weekend. Then Bayswater will travel to Apia. So possibly their 2 hardest trips so far yet to come. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and there are long trips from out west. What they've done very well is they're just super hard to break down. And I think in a competition like that, where every point matters, it favours them, obviously. Now, the other outlier in Sydney United, they might not be out yet mathematically, but I reckon spiritually they're out. It feels like the towel's well and truly thrown in. We saw the last home game, about 300 people attended. Not what you want to see from a foundation club. And I guess the silver lining for them is, okay, they did fight for a comeback against Bayswater. They're showing some spirit is still there, but it's a far way back. Silver lining there is you are a foundation club. You are going to be in this next year. How can you build to make sure this complete miss this year does not repeat next year? Be it getting your fans on board, be it making a good team and making watchable, attractive football to get people on board. You've got 12 months to get it right. You can't repeat this like that because, again, it's not just football. There's a financial incentive. They have invested in this league. You can't invest and get this return for your investment. So definitely something to learn from them.
And MetroStars will be hoping they can get up this weekend, Sydney United, at least get a point this weekend because if they get a point and MetroStars manage to win against Bayswater at home, that could make things very interesting. Only 1 point between Metro and West Apia going into that final round, and could even be a case of Bayswater even falling out of the top 2 as well. So it could make the final round so much interesting when Bayswater play West Apia in that final round. If results go MetroStars' way with a win, they need to win on Sunday, and they need West Apia to at least not get the 3 points.
And then you got Sydney United at home in the last game with expectation on your shoulders after that. So a few boxes yet to tick. But again, it might not look as interesting as other groups, but there's possibility there for a bit of spice to enter the last few weeks.
All right, before we head into our very final little takes at the end, each of us have our own little take on something, but a very quick, very, very quick discussion. Now we know what one team's already in the finals, and that is South Melbourne, who also have the, we'll talk about this another time, but the OFC comes up in January, so I think it is. So they've got no time to rest. They're going to have 1 month to get ready for that, and then back into the NPL season. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll talk about that another day. But the final structures, we've taken a look at the final structure. So it's a bit different. 1v2, they got the groups. Let me get that up as well so we can talk about it. And I think it's going to be very cool to see whoever finishes top will host. So South Melbourne definitely need to stay top. They want to do that. Now they've got an incentive to host. This is from the Football Australia website. So that A1 versus C2, B1 versus D2, C1 versus A2, D1 versus B2. So it's A and C and B and D against each other, and 1v2.
Sorry, we're laughing at you to struggle through the alphabet there.
Mate,
This,
that's hard.
this really sounded something out of Star Wars. You were ordering your own little bot empire. But yes, you go rewind that and do the maths. Someone's going to play someone.
Yes. Basically, 1 versus 2 from different groups, and it's Group A and Group C against each other, Group B and Group D against each other, and then it's a Saturday and Sunday's fixtures. So 1 and 3 o'clock on the Saturday and the Sunday. So Super Saturday still there, and then this is where it gets interesting. Semi-finals and the championship are both going to be played on Saturdays. Obviously, the 1 and 3 o'clock time slot for semi-finals, and then the final will be 3 o'clock time slot on a Saturday. So Super Saturday is continuing all the way through, but it is not a home final. So in those first place gets the home final in the quarterfinals. In the semis and the championship, according to Football Australia website, is that the all going to be staged at neutral venues. So don't know how that's going to pan out, if it's foundation clubs hosting it, if it's in the same state as one of the teams, but a neutral venue.
I'm laughing because we had a lot of fun talking about this in the group chat, getting ready for it, just outlaying possible scenarios like
Well, that's why I had to scroll. If you notice, I was scrolling. I'm like, where is it? Like, that's all our discussion.
Again, we had a laugh because it's so ridiculous. I'm so sorry. But football in this country is not built for this yet.
Well, we don't.
I'd love to be at the point where that happens, but not in this
in
day
neutral.
and age.
Well, we don't know exactly what it's going to be, the neutral venue.
Okay, but let me outline.
There
this.
might be a reason to the method. I don't know, method to the madness.
Well,
They haven't announced it yet.
but let's outline something. Imagine South Melbourne's playing, let's say, Marconi or something. I can't remember your A's and C's and D's, so I'm just going to make a random scenario.
A's versus C.
That's fine. We don't need this right now. South Melbourne, Marconi, imagine. Where is neutral for them? Because I can argue Bayswater's ground.
Well, it could be South Melbourne versus Avondale or Preston.
Okay, so where's neutral for that?
Amy Park, Marvel.
you mean Melbourne Rectangular Stadium?
Yes.
But okay, let's get... that might be in the state. Okay, you can go to home with the Matildas, whatever, which will upset both sides, but whatever. Imagine it's two interstate sides. Where is neutral? Do you go to... Imagine you play South Melbourne. Do you go to do you go to Melbourne and play at home with the Matildas? Well, I can argue it's still advantage South Melbourne
It's effectively a home
because
game.
it's a home game, but also the away team's going to be upset. The team's visiting, but also South Melbourne's upset because then they get to play at their home, even though it's in their city. If you put it out of the state, that's its own little kettle of fish, which you will not. We're not at the point where you can get big attendances for two neutral sides in football. That's just the reality of it. So, a bit of thinking to do.
Oh, I've got
before
the answer
that.
for you right now.
Go on.
We have a miniature gather round at South Hobart's home ground.
I'll be
what?
keen for
You
that.
reckon you get people for supporting
I just came
Bayswater
from
and
South
travelling
Gippsland.
there?
I wouldn't mind going to Gippsland
You
again.
know,
Let's do that.
it's-
Do it in Gippsland.
I think,
great little stadium out there.
personally, I think,
Ground.
Australian government has been working with Papua New Guinea to get money out of rugby. Well, we've been working with the Pacific Islands. So I'm keen to go to Solomon Islands of Vanuatu. Let's get everyone on the cruise boat and have a good time.
And South Melbourne's precursor to the OFC
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Look at
Perfect.
this. Everything's connecting. Why are we still here and not hired to do marketing for these people?
We will find out soon enough. But I reckon there would be a scenario, maybe because it's the first year they want to build like a little, there could be a little thing they want to do, like maybe like a festival kind of thing to finish it off. We'll find out. I don't know.
I don't know how festive that will be, but sure.
Double header. Maybe I'm there for that.
A double
For
header?
You are. How many other people are there?
Well, maybe Sydney
could-
United got through that, bring
Or
their
actually,
300 home fans.
one thing we're forgetting as well, could the final that be a double header, and then the final maybe before an A-League game, A-League venue, maybe.
You cannot make that the curtain.
We'll find
raiser.
out.
That's the biggest way to get all the prestige out of it. It has to be standalone, somewhere you can build a decent crowd. But
Anyway, I like this
for
discussion.
me-
It's good.
Yeah, it's heated. It's good.
Yeah.
for me,
Or he's heated.
I'm always
We're
heated.
listening.
For me, it's your first year. You want to make it as big as possible.
Absolutely. And going down to South
again,
Melbourne.
we talked about this in our chat that in this country we're theatre goers.
Yep.
You know, you get behind the big show in town. Let South Melbourne have the big show in town. Let anyone who's earned it have the big show in town. And eventually, why can't you do something? Okay, you've been through a grueling group stage. you've gone past your quarterfinal. I'd argue you've earned the right to host a game, home and away.
And the associated
Yep.
financial spoils with
Well,
it.
exactly. You get rewarded for making it. But again, probably not enough time to do that this year, but something to really think about in the future. And if you have time to build that up, you get the prestige behind it, you get the marketing behind it. It can be pretty special. But time will tell. We'll see where this works out, and we'll see how the clubs and the people react to it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Again, I reckon you'll have a few headaches with how it's worded at the moment.
All right. Highlights, lowlights. We're going to get through this. We've already surpassed our time limit.
Worded.
Yes. All right. So we're going to do a quick fire. 1 minute. You've got 60 seconds. Not 30 seconds. I can't do my math. 60 seconds. Give us your highlight or lowlight and tonus Pagonis, because I think it has something to do with Sydney.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Sydney Olympic because we've talked about the disappointment that has been Sydney United. They've not been the only foundation club that's been slightly underwhelming. For me, Sydney Olympic, you've got the players. You've played South Melbourne twice. You've been at a good point, either level or in front against South Melbourne with minutes to go in the game. Somehow you've ended up with 0 points from both of them. You've lost to Broadmeadow Magic at home. You've shown us you can win. You beat Moreton City. You've got to be better. You've got to get out of that group. So you've got too much quality to be missing out. I think they need to fire themselves up a little bit. So sneaky little disappointment there. I hope it's not by the end of the group stage.
And I got a feeling this might be replayed in the change room before kickoff this weekend.
Good. I'm all for it. Go Sydney Olympic.
Well, yes, and I do love the new logo. That's been under the radar a little bit, but
For good reason,
yeah.
too.
But I like it. I love it.
I like it, too.
I like it. Simon, that was almost 60 seconds. So, Simon, over to you, mate. And actually, no, I'll go first. No, because,
That can't seize your time.
yeah, it does. I'm sorry, I've got 30 seconds left. This weekend, MetroStars back at home. They've come out a little bit different. We spoke about different things, clubs doing different things. They're bringing back a nostalgia thing that I love as well. Always used to go to Sunday markets to trade playing cards. They're bringing back playing cards. 24 to collect, 12 this weekend. They're the second to last game, and their final home game will be the last 12. How cool is that? Collectible cards. Some of your favourite players. I want the Noah McNamara one. What about you boys? Would you guys love collecting?
Yeah, in the comments, tell us which of the MetroStars cards your Pikachu.
Tell us below. I'm sure our good mate from Clemson Ignites will have a couple favourites out there he'd want. But I reckon, and then it should be 25, and you have a knight there as well, the Clemson Ignite 25th card.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But who are you collecting if you had the chance to go choose a player?
Fabian Barbiero.
Barbiero, actually, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll
yeah.
trade one McNamara for a Barbiero when you get it.
No
Yeah.
deal. You
If
might have to give me two.
If you get
for
a
that.
double, if you get a double, I'll trade you. All right, let's move over to you now. I think I've gone 120
That's
seconds.
all right. I'll keep it super quick. Highlight, hopefully yet to come this weekend at TK Shuttle Reserve. MetroStars homecoming. They had round one at home against Apia. To be honest, little bit of an underwhelming sort of attendance.
Yep.
It was at a weird time in the middle of the day after a few weekends off. But now the championship's been in full effect. They've had 3 games away on the trot, and now it is crucial. They have to get a win at home. Hopefully it happens against Bayswater. It'll be another tough affair. So get down, enjoy some fantastic local football.
Yep.
And,
And
get behind local
back-to-back
side.
games to build some
Yeah.
momentum.
Some momentum.
And
yeah.
South Australia, we've been star of the football in the sense of the Australian Championship the last 3 weeks. But LA United have one home game couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, sorry. Oh, we've been starved of football locally for a very long time now. But this weekend, Friday night, LA United men at home. Saturday night, LA United women at home. Sunday, MetroStars at home. Get to all 3 games.
Yeah, an African Cup of Nations all weekend, baby. So we've got full of football this weekend. And I cannot believe that we finished this show and I'm the one that didn't bring up South Australian football. So great place to be.
Just send the Olympic. Replay that. Send it to them. Send them the screenshot.
That's just my Greekness coming through.
You're Greek? No, I didn't
Making
think
it up.
so. Anyway, Andoni Bagonis.
Adonis Pagonis.
Yes, Andonis Bagonis. All right, we'll wrap things up. Boys, thanks again. See you all next week. See you this weekend, actually. All 3. Oh, I won't be there Friday night, but I'll see you at the other games.
Sure, we'll see you somewhere.
See you Sunday. Oh, no, you always see you anywhere. You're going to African
wanna see
Nations.
you
So that's why
everywhere,
you brought it up. Anyway, we'll see you around the grounds. Thank you for joining us. That's gone over time, but enjoy it. This is the Oz Champs podcast by The Local Game, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Macron. No, thanks, Macron. I was pinpointing the wrong side the whole time. Thanks, Macron.
Yeah, it's over your heart. You're trying
Yeah,
to
it's
say.
over my heart. Macron's where the heart is at. And they're my hero. We'll see you guys next week. And I'm going to get myself a new jacket maybe. Catch ya very soon.